Oh, that tea's hitting good. What's up, my dudes? Tomac training with Deegan. This is kind of an interesting little thing right here. Thought it was video worthy. So we've obviously seen, Tomac riding with Haiden Deegan before, but like with all the other star Yamaha boys, like at their actual training facility. But we just recently got this information and saw these videos and stuff on Deegan actually training at Tomac's, compound in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's what's going down here, right? So, Tomac just got back on the Supercross track, like, what was it, like 4 days ago, some shit? I don't know. He's just now got back on it, which is kind of insane. But apparently he's been working on slowly getting himself back into it. So he's been riding on the motocross track for a minute. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of crazy because a lot of times you don't really see like the dude at the absolute oldest top level going to like the brand new rookie. You don't really see those two dudes like coming together and training like that very often. I guess Tomac's looking at it like, well, I'm never really going to even have to compete with Haiden Deegan, because he's obviously probably going to be out of there before Deegan gets to 450 class. Deegan's probably just looking at it like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go ride at Tomac's, probably try to learn something, and I'm sure vice versa, Tomac's probably trying to look at it some like, let me see what the young kids are doing different on the bike. There's probably a lot of that going on too, trying to learn a little bit of that newer style, a little bit of that newer way of riding the bike, and just getting like raw speed level back. He can certainly get that from Haiden Deegan. I mean, I've said it from the very beginning. Deegan is not lacking any speed. Like, he ain't never been lacking speed. He's always had the go jump a, 420-foot jump over a thing that nobody else is hitting, or look like he's the fastest one out there and all that. Deegan's thing is, can he stay on the bike all season without wadding his shit up? I know that he already crashed once in training. You guys probably saw that video not too long ago, maybe like a few weeks ago or something, where his foot come off in the whoops and he flipped over and shit. Just so happens he didn't get injured by that. That could have basically ruined his whole next season. So, Deegan just needs to stay on the bike, bro, and he'll be really good if he can do that. That's the thing, though. It's always the thing when you're talking about somebody that has a lot of speed, a lot of excitement, but they also crash a lot, That's kind of that is going down the vibe of like an Adam Cianciarulo or a Austin Forkner. I just hope we don't see something like that with Deegan. So far, every crash that he's had, in 2023, he's had a lot of them. I mean, some people like to, weirdly enough, sweep that under the rug like he's not really crashed that much. Kind of bizarre. He's had just as many crashes as any rookie that I've ever really seen before. He's just been lucky enough not to get injured by it, and that's the entire difference maker. You can go out there and wad your brains out, 20 times in a season, but if you never get injured, then it's going to look like you never really crashed that much, But all it takes is that one time, you know what I'm saying? So I think this is like a really good thing. Like this is going to help out Deegan. This is going to help out Tomac. It's just a good little mutual little thing they're doing here. And, it'd be interesting to see what they do. So technically, Deegan's kind of on like a new bike, I guess. I know the front fender's certainly different with the Yamaha, 24 bike. It's got that like modern-y, more simplistic-y shit that they had on the 450 this past year, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what all the other differences are like inside the bike that they've done, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tomac and Deegan kind of have a little bit of a similar kind of style. They're more, get on that motherfucking gas in the corner, hit some crazy jump, hit some quad that nobody else is hitting. They're kind of in the same category when it comes to that, the way they ride, but it's just the difference in Tomac is kind of from a whole different ass era than what Deegan's from, right? But like Deegan needs to be careful and not make all the mistakes that Tomac made when he got in there and could have won all those different 450 Supercross championships, but he crashed too much, you know. And it's kind of like Tomac's needing a little bit of that young gun, kind of get on the gas spice that Deegan brings to the table. So them two training together, you see, it's kind of like they're both getting the best of both worlds there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to watch both these guys. I mean, I feel like anything can happen. I know that a lot of people are thinking Tomac's just going to walk right out there and whoop their ass like A1. I'm having a hard time believing down that road. I mean, definitely let me know down in the comments. I'm just as much of a Tomac fan as anybody else is, but I mean, you know, we got to be careful here and not get the carriage before the horses, you know what I'm saying? Got to be careful. I mean, it's like, I know Tomac's got the track record, but he also had a crazy bad injury. You know, he's been off the bike for a minute, and you got to think he's going to be going out there and competing with Jet Lawrence in his prime, Hunter Lawrence. You know, I mean, I guess you can say that Sexton's going to be probably trying to learn that KTM for a minute. But, I mean, you know, you do have Anderson out there still. You do have Roxon out there still. Roxon seems like he's coming back around. I know I made some videos about Roxon being overhyped on the Suzuki, which I do agree. I feel like he was that first year back on the Suzuki. A lot of people thought he was going to do way better than he ended up doing. But I remember saying back in those older videos, like, I'm just saying he's overhyped for the first year back on the Suzuki. He could come out the second year or the third year and do something crazy. I remember saying that back then, and I still believe that to this day. Roxon can come out there in 2024 and be bad to the muff and bone. I mean, seriously, though, like, kind of seems like Roxon really has started to click on something here, you know, differently than what he had been doing the past, like, 3 or 4 years, where he just couldn't finish the races strong, you know, all the slew of problems he went through. So there's going to be some competition out there for Tomac. I don't think it's just going to be no cakewalk, you know, for him to go out there and get wins. I mean, obviously, you expect Tomac to at least be top 5 or some shit, but like, I think some people may be kind of confused, thinking like, oh, Tomac's going to come back and just whoop him. I mean, I'm not necessarily seeing that as far as like right away. He could do it like mid Supercross season towards the end, but I'm not necessarily seeing it like that he's going to do that at the very beginning right away. You know what I'm saying? And it's just interesting that he's bringing out Deegan to train with him, because typically Tomac is very like, I don't want to train with anybody. I'm going to stay up here in Colorado. Nobody's going to see what I'm doing. So it's an interesting change of, you know, tactic here before this particular Supercross season. I think this is going to be Tomac's last Supercross or whatever, last season period. I think he's just trying to go out there and have a different end to his career than that weird, janky, you know, bizarre injury that he had. I think that's all he's really trying to do. It's not necessarily like he's going out there like, I need to win this championship, or I'm gonna win this championship. I think he will if it falls into his hands, but I think he's more so, his whole goal is to just go out there and finish the Supercross championship and not end on such a weird, bad note, you know, with his career. That's what I think Tomac's trying to do right now. And I think he even talked about that a little bit too. So it's not just like speculation. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, Deegan needs to be careful. I mean, he doesn't even have a Supercross win yet. You know, there may be more hype for Deegan in year 2 than there was in year 1. I have no idea, but you would expect Deegan surely to goodness he's going to win a Supercross main event in 24. But it's just all in that, you know, staying on the bike. It's such a big deal. Everybody doesn't think about it until something goes real bad real quick, you know. But this is the time where Deegan needs to rack up those Supercross championships, get to that 450 class. Don't have those 3 or 4 weird burnout years where you know, have a couple injuries and then you have a couple more. You know, Deegan needs to just not get too caught up in everything. Just finish out the Supercross season strong. You don't have to look super flashy all the time. That's not really what it's about, you know. Get the results, do what you got to do, and you'll be a lot better off, you know. Deegan shouldn't have any too crazy competition. I mean, depending on what coast he goes to, now that we know that, you know, Hunter Lawrence is going 450, boy, that's going to be tough on Tomac. Having both the Lawrence boys up there, that's going to be tough on everybody. Unless it takes Hunter Lawrence a minute to learn the 450. I don't really know what he's doing, but either way, man, yeah, Tomac training with Deegan, I think that was actually probably a pretty smart move. Yeah, I love to see it, like to see it. I would like to see both of them do good in 2024. I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a fan of Star Yamaha. I'm a fan of Yamaha, period. So, you know, I'm all about it. Like, I want to see them both do good. I just want to see Deegan, like, he obviously had his really good race at Washougal, which, like, blew the doors off of everybody. Like, I get that, but I want Deegan to actually fucking, like really put it to him in, like, 2 or 3 Supercross main events in a row to, like, really stamp that, like, this is what I am in Supercross, versus just having, like, you know, little 10-second highlight clips of him fucking railing a corner and dragging the handlebar. Like, all that shit's cool, but, like, you know, if you're looking long-term career, he's got to really have some dominant performances, like winning main events by, you know, 10 seconds or more, like 2 or 3 of those in a row. That's what I want to see out of Haiden Deegan in 24. I want to see him become the man, not just one of the guys, you know what I mean? That's what I want to see. So, and I think that's what a lot of people expect him to do, and was thinking he would do his rookie year, you know? So, like, it's definitely time for Deegan to do all that. So, either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. I'll see you boys on that next one later, dude.